noted psychologist Abraham Maslow has propounded 5 basic human needs which are there in every human, which is required in every human consciously or unconsciously. Out of those 5 needs, he has propounded self-actualization, which is the climax of those needs and which every human being aspires to reach. The self-actualization means realization of one's potential, self-fulfillment, and it is the ultimate objective of every human being who is in the pursuit of success. But one question mark is always there. What is the one thing that stops you once in realizing that potential? If you can count, there may be endless reasons, endless things, but the root is in only one thing, which I think is the one thing only, and that one thing is one's habits. Because out of habit, everything grows. Your action grows out of habit, your destiny will make out of your habits, and your success or failure will depend on those habits. Friends, remember that habit is the main thing on which realization of one's potential or reaching the greater heights depends. Now, what is habit? For the simplification, I have divided the habits into 3 parts, 3 types of habits. One is thought habit, second is action habit, and third is relationship habit. If we analyze deeply, we will find that all our things revolve around on these 3 types of habits. Now let us analyze each one. What is a thought habit? Thoughts are the basic thing in one's life, because out of thought emerges your actions, and out of your actions makes your character. And we develop ourselves, you all develop in yourselves the habit of thinking positive or negative, the habit of thinking realistic or unrealistic. Someone has said that your mind is a sacred enclosure into which nothing negative can enter except without your permission. So remember, whatever we are thinking at the right moment or what we will think at the later moment, that is our own creation. No outsider is responsible, no outside circumstance is responsible for that. So my point is that always try to think realistically. Review your thought pattern on every aspect, whether those thoughts are realistic or not, whether those thoughts are principle based or not. If you practice these things, you will come to conclusion that yes, I must change my thought habits. Your thought make you proactive, and at the same time your thought may make you reactive. Reactiveness will not help you in achieving your potential. Proactiveness will always be there and holding you to realize your potential. So make your thoughts proactive. In this regard, I love the equation which Jack Canfield has propounded. He says that every outcome, every event, and your response to that event is equal to the outcome. We may not have any control, you may not have any control over the event, but certainly you have control over the reaction to that event. And if you change that equation, that reaction part, your outcome will change. And that reaction is the creation of your thought. Stephen R. Covey, he says that every stimulus, what happened to you and what is your response to that thing, in between there is a gap. In between there is a gap, whether you admit or not, there is a gap. So try to use that gap thoughtfully. And if you make the habit of using that gap thoughtfully, no one can stop you realizing your potential. That is the thought habits. Now let us come to action habit. There is a principle, natural principle, that as you sow, so you reap. If you keep on doing same thing repeatedly over and over again, remember, you will be getting same thing repeatedly over and over again. The problem arises when we reap, we sow something and we expect something different, and where is the problem? And that problem will always be there, and that problem will always be hampering, that will be always holding you back reaching your potential. So friends, the action habit says that set your goal. When you do not set your goal, or when you do not have a clear-cut priorities, your actions will also be vague and they will also be doubtful. You yourself can't understand what you want and what you are doing or where you are going. So my suggestion is that first set your priorities right and do everything around those priorities and make a habit of that. You will realize soon that there is a result coming in your life. There are some negative actions like procrastination, negative thoughts. Those habits you must curtail. Now we come to relationship. No one can achieve alone. He needs the help of others. Their relationship comes into picture. Very often we do not listen to others, we only hear them. And my dear friends, there is a difference between listening and hearing. Listening is you listen to other person with your mind and heart, and hearing is your mind and heart is something your ears are only there. Don't do that. Cultivate the habit of listening to whomever you meet, and he will be your best friend, and there how relationship grows. So friend, these are the habits which we must cultivate. these are the habits which will ultimately count and which ultimately show your top in reaching your heights. So good luck, develop those habits.